Hello and welcome. My name is NOVARIS, and today I'd like to speak to you about the Magicka Sorcerer build for the Murkmire DLC. There's a few different setups that you can actually go with for the Sorcerer, and this is also true for the Magicka Nightblade and the Magicka Templar. I've neglected to mention the other setups, so in the rotation section of the video I'm going to go over that a wee bit more thoroughly this time. So in this video I'm going to go over the DPS Parses, the gear setup, the skill points, the champion points, and then I'll finish it off with the rotation. As I've said before, there will be some added bits at the end, so that'll be the two other tests with different setups. They're also slightly easier to attain.
Sandstorm, I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip has pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure.
Okay, it's time to go over the primary gear setup. There is other gear setups shown at the end, as I said at the start of the video. So on the front bar I have the Spell Strategist Inferno Staff with an infused trait and the flame damage enchantment. This is quite a useful set because the 5th piece bonus will carry over both bars. The second setup piece that I'm using is the Maelstrom's Inferno Staff with a shock damage enchantment and an infused trait. This set is particularly useful with your Wall of Elements, just because you get additional light attack damage and heavy attack damage. So just using that Blockade of Fire skill. And it's just shown here, so it's 1341 extra damage. So I have 2 pieces of Zaans, one heavy and one medium. Ideally you'd want the head to be infused, I just haven't got round to changing that trait. You want all the other set pieces to be light and a mixture of Spell Strategist and Siroria. All the small pieces should be Divines and all the large pieces should be infused. I also have the jewellery. 2 Bloodthirsty can be an option, but generally with the Sorcerer you'd go with 3 Arcane. So I'll just swap these around just now really quickly. So this is the setup that you typically run, just because the majority of other classes will have more Bloodthirsty, so you won't need that much. The DPS doesn't increase or decrease particularly with those changes either. So the other gear setups I will go over in more detail towards the end, and I'll show you some different tests as well. Okay, so let's go over the skills. So in the front bar I'm running Liquid Lightning. It's a very useful skill because it lasts for 10 seconds, but it also provides shock damage during that time. You can also get a synergy, conduit synergy activated, so if there's another group member uses that you gain additional shock damage. and because it's a storm calling ability we get access to some of the passives, so specifically the Implosion and the Expert Mage passives are useful. So the Implosion will deal additional damage under 15%, and the Expert Mage will provide us with more damage with sorcerer abilities, so it doesn't have to be from that skill line. So the next skill is Crystal Fragment. We want to use this intermittently between using our elemental weapon. So whenever it procs, I've gone over this in previous videos. If you want an explanation I can say below as well, but basically you want to be using that skill as soon as it's available. Having that skill and using that skill is beneficial because it provides minor prophecy to yourself and the group, so it increases everybody's spell critical. The next skill is Elemental Weapon. So it's a Psijic Order ability. It adds 9,741 magic damage to your light attacks, plus it provides burning, concussion or chilled elemental status effects. But there is other benefits to this skill. If you're using any Psijic Order abilities, you'll get access to the passives. So Spell Orb provides us with a little bit more damage, builds up over time. Concentrated Barrier, if we block we get an additional shield, and then Deliberation, we're going to get some damage mitigation when we're casting. The next skill is Inner Light. It's a Mage's Guild ability, and we have this slotted here for the 5% extra Magicka that it gives us. But because it's a Mage's Guild ability, we also get access to the passive Magicka Controller, meaning that the total will be 7% extra Magicka just from having that slotted. The next skill is Bound Aegis. Ignore the cost because we're just going to have this slotted. It's going to provide us with 8% more maximum Magicka, and because it's a sorcerer ability we get access to all of the passives as well. In the Daedric summoning passives, not many of them are useful to us, but it will increase our stamina and health recovery, so that's something at least. The next skill as well to go over is Fiery Rage. We're not really going to use this all that often in the majority of tests, even though it is very powerful. I'll go over that in a second. Basically we're using it to get access to the Ancient Knowledge passive. So if we're not using any other Destruction Staff ability on that bar, we'll get 8% more just from having that slotted. On the back bar we have Haunting Curse. So this is going to activate twice. It will do the same damage, but first it will activate after 3.5 seconds and then again after 8.5 seconds. After that point it's okay to recast it, not beforehand. So it basically does quite a significant amount of our damage as well when it explodes. So the next ability as well to talk about is Blockade of Fire. I've mentioned before, but something else to say is that when the Wall of Elements is down, the burning enemies will take 20% more damage as well. The next skill is Empowered Ward. I'm going with this because it's a sorcerer specific ability and it's a shield ability, so it's going to be better than the light armor ability. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but instead of that shield, if you'd be better to use that. Elemental Drain as well if you're going to be testing, and then Bound Aegis again. So Bound Aegis is just to give us again more maximum Magicka. I use Dark Conversion here for the tests just to provide some more sustain, but if you want to you can change that around for the Psijic Order ability. Channeled Acceleration. So if you use Channeled Acceleration, it will also give you some more sustain and some more damage, but not quite as much obviously. And this is the reason that we're not using the Destruction Staff ultimate. This will do significantly more damage, plus it gives a major Berserk buff to anyone who activates the synergy. So it's quite a useful skill to have for the full group. Okay, so let's go over the champion points. So I have 66 points into Elfborn, 66 points into Elemental Expert, 9 points into Spell Erosion. I then have 15 points into Staff Expert, 66 points into Master Arms, and then 48 points into Thaumaturge. The rest of the CP depends on which trial you're doing and what kind of content you're doing. so I'd strongly advise that you have a look around and try things out for yourself. Okay, so we're now at the rotation section of the video. If you want to pause here and make a note or take a screenshot for yourself to use later, then hopefully that would be quite helpful. The rotation is relatively simple. You just want to keep your blockade up 100% of the time. The main things to monitor are curse and drain. So I'll be showing two different tests with two different setups. Neither of these are using the Siroria and Spell Strategist sets. So basically the benefit to that is that you won't have any movement restrictions caused by the Sirorias, and you also will be able to do some damage to multiple targets, unlike Spell Strategist. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video so far. I'm looking for any feedback that you guys can give me. Apologies for taking so long to get this video out. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
Get ready.